What's up, guys? I'm here with my man BLACKvengance28. What's up, man?
What's good, Joker Boxing? What's up, man?
Oh, nothing much. Let's go ahead and talk about this whole Manny Pacquiao, Marquez 4. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
What's my thoughts on this guy, on this fight, man? What a joke. I don't really even understand why they're doing this again. I guess, like, Marquez is like that kid who likes getting abused, and he's just getting ready to get, abused some more. I mean, he's got to think to himself, why Manny Pacquiao is so eager to fight this guy. I mean, there's no way Bob Arum is going to let Pacquiao take two losses, controversial losses, or alleged controversial losses. And we know how it's going to be looked at if Marquez wins. I really don't see Marquez. What can Marquez do differently? Like, can somebody break it down to me? What can Marquez do differently? Marquez doesn't have the power, it seems, to hurt Manny Pacquiao enough to drop him or floor him. Because let's face reality. The reality of it is that Marquez will never beat Manny Pacquiao as per the crowd, as per his Manny Pacquiao fanatical fans, unless he floors this guy.
Right.
Unless he floors him. And he's got to shut him out every round. This is a ridiculous joke. This is a ridiculous joke. And I kind of say that to Manny Pacquiao fans who support this guy and, talk about how he's the greatest, you got to really ask yourself, like, why? Why? You had Tim Bradley. You could have fought Bradley again. Your man could have, oh, yeah, you want to steal the belt from me? Well, I'm going to fight you again. I'm going to beat you behind and take my belt back.
Right.
And leave no doubt in the minds of anybody that I'm the champ. No, I fight a guy who basically outboxed the crap out of me. Three fights. I'm sorry, it was three fights. I don't give Manny none of those fights because at the point you look at it from the first fight, if you want to call the first fight a draw, all right, whatever. Dude gets dropped a few times. He gets up, but he shuts him out every freaking round thereafter. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Marquez has won all three bouts.
Right.
And, Manny is just a joke. Just keeping it real.
Yeah, man, this fight, man, I remember when you asked me about this fight for the first time and you asked me what my thoughts were. I was just like, I just hope somebody gets knocked out. Um, I agree. I think this fight really is a joke. I'm not interested in it at all. Um, and I really don't care who wins. I have no reaction to this fight. These guys, I really don't get either one of these guys. There's guys for both of them to fight. It's just disappointing to me because on one end you have Manny Pacquiao, who's media hyped, who right now is the number one ranked welterweight in the world. I don't know how. I don't know how. Was it beating Shane Mosley that got him that ranking? Was it losing to Timothy Bradley that got him that ranking? I really don't know how. But he's the number one welterweight in the world, and he's choosing to fight this old man. On the other end, you have Marquez, who's a skilled fighter who I respect. But why is he fighting Pacquiao? There's so much fights out there for him. You got Adrian Broner calling him out. You got Lamont Peterson who wanted to fight Marquez. Zab Judah wanted to fight Marquez at one point. He could fight any of the guys at 140. Why not Danny Garcia? I mean, there's just so much out there for Marquez. Why is he even at welterweight? There's no vindication to be had at this point. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I think with this fight, man, I think a lot of people got to understand and wake up, man. This is why this fight is a classic example of why they try to play, boxing fans for a joke. They're hyping this bout up to be like, oh, this is going to be two living legends in the ring are going to go at it. And the decisive, they're acting like these guys are at the pinnacle of their talents. and they're coming off of big knockout wins.
Right.
They're acting like these guys are undefeated, right? And that they're about to go into this battle together, and this is gonna prove who's the best in boxing.
Right.
This is a joke. This is something that I kind of look at and I say to myself, like, look how they're promoting this fight. They're promoting this fight using other fighters as names.
Right.
I mean, this is just to show you is nothing more than just a dog and pony show, and to keep the casual boxing fan from questioning things, questioning about the, Manny Pacquiao. I mean, we talk about Juan Manuel Marquez. You're absolutely right. He could fight Lamont P. He could fight Danny. He could fight a whole bunch of other fighters, and he's not. And I think with Marquez, from Marquez's perspective, is that Marquez will make the most money fighting Manny Pacquiao because his name is linked with him in boxing history. He's going to make the second most amount of money anyway. Like,
right.
Next to fighting Floyd Mayweather, you're going to make that money. But if he fights Pacquiao, he's going to make the second most.
Right.
And that's just the economics of it, right, on that side. But to me, you're right. Marquez, I hold Marquez in high regard as a great, great Mexican fighter. I think he's doing himself a disservice by fighting this guy again. I don't think it does anything for his legacy. I don't think it does anything for his place in boxing. It's nothing. What does this prove? You fight this guy again, they're not going to let you win. They're not going to let you win. I mean, how much more evident is it going to be? What I keep employing, I keep trying to go over it in my head. I keep saying to myself, what does the guy need to drink more urine and get stronger? Sleep in hyperbaric chambers for 6 months straight? I don't know what this guy can do to prove anything other than he obviously is a fantastic counterpuncher, and when he boxes Pacquiao, he outclasses Pacquiao. It's evident to the mainstream boxing fan, who they're fans of the street science. We know on that level, Marquez outclasses Pacquiao. Period. End of discussion. End of it.
And you know what else
we don't
too?
Need to see it again.
Like you said, there's no winners in this fight. There's only losers. I look at it from this perspective. If Pacquiao wins, honestly, for the first time, big deal. Big deal. Am I supposed to erase the fact that you lost the last 2 fights? Is that just supposed to go out the window? I really don't care. If Marquez wins, big deal. You already won the majority of the fights. Okay. I mean, you're not going to get credit if you win. That's the movie that we've seen, play over and over again. You're not going to get credit. So there's no winners, only losers in this fight. But let's move on from this and let's talk about who we'd like to see these guys get in the ring with. Is there anybody out there you'd like to see either of these guys, mix it up with?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I want to see Marquez fight like Danny Garcia. I would have thought that would have been a better fight. I'm sorry, excuse me for that. I thought that would have been a better fight for him. I would like to see him fight Danny Garcia, because I think that's a good test for Danny to fight a guy who he just fought Eric Morales, right?
Right.
Eric Morales is at the tail end of his career. He was damn near in the casket.
Right.
But Marquez is obviously, he takes care of himself a little bit better. And he's shown that he's a good counterpuncher, and since Danny Garcia is a come forward kind of guy, I think it would have been a more exciting fight. I would like to see that to happen. Pacquiao, really, the only other guy I wanted to see him fight, man, was Bradley again.
Right.
Being 100% real. I just wanted to see him. This was your chance, man. You always talk about the old Manny Pacquiao. I want to see that fire. Where's that guy who, beat my boy Barrera? Where's that guy? I want to see that guy.
Right.
Fight Bradley that way. But again, at this point, I think we all know where Manny wants to go. Which that fight I don't think is never going to happen. And I just don't foresee anything else. I think who else is he going to beat? Who else is he going to beat? If you're going to make some guy move up from lightweight, like you, what are you going to do? Who are you going to make?
Well, they're saying Brandon Rios. They're throwing Brandon Rios out there, so maybe that's that guy.
Man, that's just this kid Brandon Rios is tailor-made from Pacquiao.
Right.
That's nothing but oh my God, I'm sorry, Brandon Rios. I love Bam Bam, man. He's a funny dude. He's like that crazy dude that you hang out with. You never know what he's gonna do.
Right.
He's got that personality. he's a little off his meat rocker, and I like that to some degree. But the guy has no boxing talent. He is just all put his head, tuck his chin down, lean on you, and beat you down. And to fight a guy, I will give him in that regard Manny Pacquiao. He fights Manny Pacquiao, who has better foot movement. It's gonna be that's gonna be nothing, man.
Yeah.
That honestly, that fight would be easy work for Manny Pacquiao, and I think that is why that's probably gonna be the next fight that's promoted.
Right.
To be honest, I think that they're gonna push for that fight the most, because that'll be something that he can go out and say, yeah, look, this guy was afraid to fight me, and we all know who we're talking about.
Right.
But yeah, I fought, Brandon Rios, and look what I did. And honestly, at this point, man, I could honestly care less when I see Manny Pacquiao in the ring. Right. Being honest.
No, I'm with you.
I've got my opinions about Manny Pacquiao and his legacy in boxing anyway. And, I've never held back when it came to this guy. So, it is what it is.
I mean, this is where I'm at with Manny Pacquiao. Like you said, I say fight Timothy Bradley. You're somebody who you sit there and you say you want to give the fans what they want to see. Why is every fan out there saying fight Timothy Bradley again? Even diehard Pacquiao fans are raising their eyebrows saying, wait a minute, why don't you just want to fight Bradley? And I've talked with Pacquiao fans who say that. I mean, here's a guy who's sitting there and he's fighting Marquez for the fourth time, under the banner that he quote-unquote wants to clear up the controversy. Why don't you want to clear up the controversy with Timothy Bradley? Doesn't make sense. I don't get it. So he's avoiding Timothy Bradley. I agree with you on the Bam Bam fight. It's tailor-made for him. So I'll say fight Timothy Bradley, or I really don't care. I mean, that's where I'm at with Pacquiao. Marquez, I say fight somebody other than Pacquiao or retire. That's what I say to Marquez, because, what are you going to do, Marquez? Do you want to fight him a fifth time? Is that already signed also? Like, dude, Marquez, it might be time for you to go. And it's sad for me to say that, because I like watching this guy. But if you're not going to go down, fight at your natural weight class, which is 140 or under, and test some of those, those young guys down there. Fight a guy like Broner. I mean, there's so many guys that this guy can fight. I can name a million fighters I'd love to see Marquez fight. I'd love to see him fight, a Brandon Rios. You got your boxer versus brawler, Danny Garcia, Amir Khan. I could just name everybody at 140 who I'd like to see him mix it up with, even Zab Judah or Lamont. But, if you're not going to fight one of those young guys, go retire. Go retire. I'm done seeing you versus Pacquiao fight. These guys are going to be fighting in wheelchairs, and I'm just not with it.
One of the things I think with Juan Manuel Marquez, and I totally understand him. As a man myself, I understand where he is right now, where his psyche is right now. I think with him, it's, okay, here comes this guy, because you got to remember, when he fought, Manny Pacquiao, and when they first met, here's a guy who, and Manny Pacquiao is like, his fight schedule when he was beating all the top Mexican boxers was tough. I will give him that. Mm-hmm. Okay? And he was fighting these guys. He was turning the throne, because Mexico had a major powerhouse when Manny Pacquiao came in. Right. And he was just knocking everybody out. And I think with Marquez, it's a pride, it's an ego thing, it's a total, I am better than you, and how dare the media and everybody else hold you up above this way when I've exposed you how many times? Right. You're going to give me what is my due. But in the process of it, and honestly, I feel like that's where Marquez's mentality is. Right. You're going to give me my just due. If I need to fight you when we're in wheelchairs and we're just slap boxing, if I win, I want freaking cut. I want somebody to say that I beat you. Period. I think for Marquez, he would retire. If he beats it, if by some miraculous miracle, right, he basically shuts him completely out, and he does it, and Manny Pacquiao doesn't land one big left hand, which we know it's not going to happen. Because according to Jim Lampley, he lands left hands even when he's not throwing it. But if he fights Marquez and he throws and he lands those supposedly, the Titanic left hand down the middle, then and he wins, I think that will be his vindication and he'll walk away. But I think it's honestly that Manny Pacquiao has become in Marquez's his psyche, that voice he can't shut up in his head. He needs to beat this guy. And he has become obsessed with beating this guy. And you're right. Should he fight the lower weight? But I think that with Marquez's mind, his mentality is that he's already had the tough fights. You know, we got to give Marquez credit. You know, he fought tough guys at his weight to be where he is. Okay? And so he feels like these guys who are fighting now, battling, I don't even really think he considers it's like that's the future. He's not really even focused. He wants to beat the one guy who he feels in his entire career has cheated him the most. And I have to agree with him. He has. I think he feels jaded by the fans. I think he feels jaded by boxing in general. And I think he needs this.
Right.
But it's like, at what cost, man? Like, you're freaking insane, man. Like, I honestly, like you said, wheelchairs, I see these dudes, like, you know, when they're 60, you know, being led down to the arena in a wheelchair, and they just go slap boxing in the ring and see who's going to win. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah, man, I'm with you, my man. But you know, we can go ahead and wrap this one up, man. Those are basically our thoughts on this fiasco of a fight, Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez 4. Why? Those are our thoughts, man. That's my man BLACKvengance28. Go check him out. It's your boy as always. Leave me your feedback. Peace.